We are now live. We are live. Here we go.
I just wanna get lost and leave this town. Take the next left, don't turn around. Keep on going, don't look back. Only stopping to fill up the gas. And I was thinking maybe you could help me try. Meet me down the street on Friday night. Dip on all my friends, boy, I think it's fine. Spin a million circles in the headlights. And don't tell no one else, it's between you and I.
There it is. And welcome to Skip Happens, y'all. And it's another fun night, I can promise you. Listen to this voice. Guys, so good. Wow. Powerhouse vocals. Maybe a touch of twang and an infected soul. And that's who we're going to be talking to tonight. Her name's Kylie Trout. You can see her right there next to Miss Deb Lamphere, the president of the Country Music Fan Club in the Northeast, Syracuse area. And Kylie, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yay, it's working.
Yay. Welcome, Kylie. Welcome.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
And Kylie, quickly tell us, where are you right now?
I am in Southern California.
Wow. And you say Southern, what are you near when you say Southern?
I'm about like an hour away from the beaches. So I'm kind of like in the center of everything, I guess.
Okay. Do you surf? Do you go to the beach? Do you do any of that?
I haven't been to the beach in like 3 years. And like,
What?
I'm from California, so people always say like, what the heck? Yeah. But, I don't know.
No, you've been too busy working on your music. It's Kylie Trout, everybody. She's a new and upcoming artist. She's got her first single on the radio, and it's called You and I, and that's what you just heard moments ago, the beginning of that great song, and you can hear it here in Syracuse from our coast to yours, man. I tell you, this is pretty cool how we can do this, and being on the east, you on the west, and that song on the radio, girl, I don't know. Can I tell everybody how old you are?
Yeah, go ahead.
I know. She's 17. You would never know. No, exactly. And listen to that voice and that song right there. And they were trying to get me to play that for a little bit. I'll be honest with you. They said, once you hear it, you're going to want to put it on the radio. I said, all right, I'll give it a listen. I've got that, but no, and they're like, no, Skip, you got to listen to it. You got to listen to it. So I said, all right. So I listened to it and I went, dang.
Well, yes. Beautiful voice.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you for listening to it. I appreciate that.
No, we listened to it. Now it's in it's part of our rotation on the Syracuse radio station, The Wolf. So that's kind of cool. So Kylie, we have to ask how you holding up with everything that's going on. Is it any different there than it would be here in New York? I mean, we're off a lockdown. We're starting to open up, but how is it where you are?
Yeah, so it's weird. It's really weird. We're starting to open up a little bit, but me being 17, I don't even have my driver's license yet. So even if I wanted to leave the house, I really can't. So, the only times I really left is like to go pick up food or something. Today, we went and we just got coffee real quick because, it's.
Oh, you there?
So I'm holding up. We're healthy and safe over here. So that's pretty much all you can ask for right now. Just waiting for it to be over.
Yeah, exactly. Being 17, though, I mean, why don't you have your driver's license? You just don't want to do it? You've been concentrating on other things, or?
Well, I was actually supposed to get my license either this month or next month, but everything's closed down. So I can't really do that. I'll be honest, I kind of slacked on getting my permit for a while. My parents joked, they're like, girl, you're not going to get your license till you're like 21. I'm like, no, I'm going to do it. Just give me a little time. Yeah, soon.
That's Deb, I would say that's like and Kylie, that's like the opposite of most kids. Most kids want to get their permit and they want to get behind the wheel and they want to get driving. So that's a little bit different. And I guess maybe your priorities are a little bit different than most people your age. You've got a song out there. I'm sure, have you been working on your music? What have you been doing while you've been home?
Yeah, so lately it's just given me a lot of time to connect with new people. I've been writing a lot, been doing these interviews like this, talking to new people.
Mhm.
You gotta make the best of these weird situations. I can't wait to get back out and perform. I feel like it's been like forever.
Mhm.
It's probably only been a couple of months, but you feel like it's been a year.
Yeah, it really does, especially because literally like the week before we went on like quarantine, I had what like 3 shows scheduled and I was sick like the whole month of January.
Oh my
So I
lord.
had to cancel, yeah, and so I haven't been on a stage since 2019 and I'm like dying inside. Like it's
So
scary.
were you sick? Like you could have had coronavirus, do you think, before it really hit, or did you have just
Well,
a
I
flu?
had it was weird. I've like never had strep throat before, but I guess I had like chronic strep throat.
Mhm.
Like all of January. It started like end of December. It was terrible, so I couldn't sing for like a month. It was bad. But I don't think I had corona. My whole family, we all got sick around the same time, but
Mhm.
I got sick first and then my dad, my stepmom, and my 2 sisters got sick after me, but they had something different and I didn't get sick during that whole time, which was crazy because they got really sick, but
Mhm.
they were tested and came back negative. So it's kind of scary
That is.
because yeah, you don't know
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you had it, at least, you
right.
know, if you get it again, they're saying it's not as bad if you can get it again. So we were kind of hoping that we had it, but guess not.
So you
I
were
know.
off the whole month of, sorry, you were off the whole month of January. Then you were able to go
Mhm.
back. Did you get any performances in between when you were sick and when we had to go to quarantine?
Yeah, I was in Nashville for country radio seminar, so I performed out there during in February. And that's pretty much all I could do.
Hmm.
So it sucks looking
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. Yeah, we were there. We were
Mhm.
there. I'm surprised our paths didn't cross.
Mhm.
I've been going
Yeah.
for 19 or 20 years. Deb's been going for the last 10 or 12 years. And we take everything in. And of course, I'm doing the radio thing and she's networking with her business. And we're just, meeting a lot of people and doing and listening to a lot of artists like
Mhm.
yourself, the newer artists. It's the new sound of country. I shouldn't call it a new sound, but it's a new generation of country that's coming up through
Yeah.
and somebody your age. You talking about country, and before we went on the air here tonight, my son Zach was hanging out, and he looked at your bio, and it said Radio Disney Country Artist, and
Yeah.
he just went, "Oh my lord, oh my god!" That's
I
why
love
he was so excited to say hello. Tell me a little bit about the Radio Disney side of things, Radio Disney Country.
Yeah, so that was so special to me because, you know, in releasing you and I, we had talked about pitching it to Radio Disney Country and it wasn't set in stone yet. And then I was in Nashville for CRS and it was actually my birthday on February 20th.
Oh wow.
And yeah, so the next day after that was when I got to announce that my song was being played on Radio Disney Country. So that was just such a special week for me, you know,
Mhm.
so cool. So, and you know, growing up with like Radio Disney and Disney Channel and all that, um, saying that I'm actually like a part of it now,
Hmm.
it's so cool.
It's
Mhm.
very
So
cool.
super grateful.
That's very cool. How was it? Did you actually hear it on the radio, or
I did.
and how was that feeling?
It was cool. The first time I heard it, was actually in my hotel room that night in Nashville.
Mhm.
So I was like, Dad, like my song. So it
I
was
love
cool.
I love it. Tell us a little bit about, of course, your music. You've got You and I on the radio. Tell
Mhm.
us about the single right now. Tell us, did you write it? And tell us all about it.
Yeah, so I wrote this song with my good friend Jason Hamer. He's an amazing songwriter. We co-write all the time, and for this song, you know, usually I just write about like personal experience because I feel like that's like the most real you can get.
Hmm.
But with this one, it was just I was talking to my dad one day, and he was like, "Kai, like you need like a that vibey song. You need that good upbeat song, roll the windows down, cruise." And I'm like, yeah, I do. So then I pitched the idea to Jason and he was like, I like it. So then we wrote the song, loved it, and I went to Nashville and I was in the studio with Bill McDermott, and we were just going over it, and then we were like, you know what, this song, like, I like it, but it feels like rushed, and it wasn't exactly where we wanted it to be. So then we were just messing around with it, and then we actually ended up cutting the verses basically in half. Before I recorded it. So then I sang it that way, like for the first time. We all just like looked at each other and we're like, this is it. So then we went into the studio the next day and we recorded it, and rest is history. Here it is. So yeah, it was super, super cool process.
Very, very cool. Can you tell us, I know you're only 17, but I'm blown away by that, because when you listen to the music, it's your voice is so soulful and so full, and there, you do not, I mean, I don't mean this in a bad way, but you do not sound like a child. You sound like just awesome. Have you had voice lessons? Have you been through all that?
Yeah, so I've been taking voice lessons since I was, I want to say 10 years old.
Okay.
It's funny too, because I tried when I was younger, but I was just so shy. Like, well, probably if you knew me like when I was like 5, like I was like one of the shyest people you ever met. And my grandma, I told her, I was like, Grandma, like I really want to take lessons. Dad, like please take me. And they're like, you sure you can do that? Like we'll take you. And I was like, yeah, like I'll be fine. So then my grandma took me to this vocal coach, and it wasn't a private lesson, it was like a group lesson. There was like 3 other girls with like their moms in the room, and we had to do like the scale, and it was my turn to do it by myself in front of everybody. And I froze. I looked at my grandma, I started crying, and I ran out. I was like, nope, I can't do this. And then I did a talent show when I was in 4th grade, and everybody was like, what the heck, Kylie? Like, are you sure you can do this? Like, and I was like, yeah, I'll be fine. And I sang We're Never Ever Getting Back Together by Taylor Swift, and I had like a whole dance choreography, and I sang it and everything. And since then, I didn't want to get off the stage, and that's when I really knew, like, this is what I want to do. So then I started taking voice lessons again when I was 9 or 10. And yeah, just been doing that since then.
Very cool. Very cool. Your dad or your stepmom or anybody into music as well, or are you the only one in the fam that's into music, or what's the deal?
Yeah, so my grandma, she sang in like her church choir, and all that, and my uncle, he plays electric guitar. But other than that, my whole family just played sports. Like everybody was into softball or baseball. Like that's the Trout family. And then I came along and I was like, oh, I hate running, like physical activity, like no thank you. And I was the only one who picked up singing, and they're like, Kylie, like I don't know where you got this from. Like nobody sings. So it's like my thing. So
there's probably someone in a previous generation that has some really good vocal genes there that you inherited.
Yeah. Maybe, who knows?
Yeah. Being in the Trout family, any relation to the baseball player?
Oh my gosh, I can't even count how many times I've been.
I kind of figured.
I'll be in class and we'll have like a substitute teacher, and they'll be like, "Are you related to Mike?" And it's funny because my uncle's name is the Mike Trout. Maybe,
oh wow,
maybe somewhere along the line, but not that I know of.
All right. Just thought I'd throw it out there, and I kind of figured you've probably been asked a million times, but it doesn't hurt to ask, I guess. So, I mean, you took the voice lesson. What's that, Deb?
I would say I wouldn't have asked you that because I don't follow baseball. He's a baseball geek.
As you can tell, I got my Met shirt on, and I got a baseball on my podcast table, so a couple of them. So, and that's the way we work here in my pod zone. Even a baseball bat sitting here on the table. But you took the voice lessons at the age of 5, and so I mean, something was telling you that that's what you wanted to do. You're a little nervous about getting it started, but now you seem to be on a roll. I mean, you play the guitar. Do you play any instruments?
What'd you say?
Yeah, I think it's cutting out a little bit. I said,
you're breaking up a little.
Yeah, can you hear me now? They ought to use that phrase in a commercial. Can you hear me now?
All right, wait. I didn't hear anything you just said. It cut out completely.
And we didn't hear anything you said. So, anyway, we're even. Um, but do you play the guitar or any
Yeah.
instruments? Do you play the guitar?
Can you hear Sket or not?
Yeah, I started playing guitar last year. Yeah, I do now. Hear me?
Okay. Okay. You're like cutting out on us here a little bit. Um, can you hear us now? I don't know. Must be the internet tonight. I think there's a lot. Oh, she's going out and she's probably coming back here in a minute, Deb. But you know what amazes me is she's only 17. You know what I mean? She's 17 and you've heard the song and it's just unbelievable. And that's why I said we need to talk to Kylie. So
So
and
somebody, when they start this young and have this powerful of a voice, just imagine where she's
Hello.
going to be 5
yep,
years or 10 years from now,
Alright.
there
right?
she is. There she is. Can you hear us now?
Yes, I'm back.
Yeah, okay. We hope you're back. You're kind of going in and out. We were just talking about what it is and how awesome it is, with that song and you being who you are while you went out and came back in. But you said you did play guitar, or you do play guitar now a little bit, correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
I was online and I think I saw you doing a Fleetwood Mac song. And was it Dreams?
Dreams, yes.
That was very cool. Are you a fan of Fleetwood Mac? Do you like performing the older style rock, or would you prefer to stick with what you're doing with the country?
I grew up with country, so country's always been like it runs in my blood. Like I love it, but I like to venture out of my comfort zone a little bit, and I've been getting into Fleetwood Mac more, and I
Hmm.
love that song. Dreams is probably like my favorite song to perform.
Hmm.
So
That's
I love
cool.
that song.
Tell us about your band a little bit. Are these guys you play with right along on a regular basis? Is it your band, or do you pick up guys, as you people to be in the band as you go along, or how does that work?
Yeah. So they're called the Wild Reckoning. They're amazing. They're so talented, and I just started working with them recently. And so, yeah, they're super talented musicians, great guys. They're super fun to work with.
That's awesome. Do they contribute to any of your songwriting at all?
Not yet, but we'll see in the future.
Do they all live near where you live now, or are they scattered all over the place?
Hear me?
Do they live where you are, near you?
They're about like 30, 45-ish minutes away, so not too far.
Hmm.
We make the
Rehearsal runs.
commute.
Okay.
Hmm. Maybe that's on a good day when there's not so much traffic. Do you have a lot of traffic in Southern California?
Oh yes, 91 freeway. You can ask anybody. Terrible.
Mm. That's got to be crazy. Have you ever been to the Northeast? Have you been up? Well, I know you said you've been to Nashville. That's still a little bit south, but have you been to the Northeast? New York? No?
I've never been. I'd love to go though.
Well, we would love to have you up here. We'd love to have you come in maybe when you do the radio tour, hopefully when things open up again, that we can get you up here. And my buddy Stan in Watertown at Froggy and the Wolf in Syracuse. A lot of these artists, we like to work off of each other because we are fairly close together and we can put you in two completely different markets and it gets you a lot of exposure, which would be really, really cool.
That'd be awesome. I would love that.
And we would love to have that for you. What else do you do in Southern California? What is that? What's life like there?
For me, I'm a little boring. Like people always ask me what I do, and I just sit at home and I just play music. That's my life. Before this whole quarantine thing, doing shows every weekend, practicing with the band. But besides me, where I live, it's very big dirt bike community.
Well, very
A
cool.
lot of people ride. Yeah. So, and I have friends that live at the beach and they all surf and stuff. So it's a mixture.
Yeah, but you said you hadn't been to the beach in quite a while, though, right? Do you?
Yes, it sucks.
How about riding a dirt bike?
I've actually never ever
No?
been to a bike. No, we used to go to the river.
Uh-huh.
I love like boating and like jet skis and wakeboarding, waterboarding,
Same idea.
wakeboarding too. All that, yeah,
Mhm.
I love all that.
What when you write, what do you tell me about your how you get your thoughts? How does all that what's that process for you? Everybody does it a little bit different, but what is that process for you when you sit down to write?
For me, it's I feel like it's always different. Like I mentioned earlier, I usually like to write from personal experience, and um, I've had a pretty not crazy, but I've had some stuff happen in my life, so it's made it
Mhm.
easier to write some things. But yeah, or just like after you like watch a movie or and you get an idea from like one of the characters, like
Mhm.
if I was them, like put yourself in their shoes. Or if you like take a line from a book and you're like, all right, I'm gonna write a song about this, like wherever I land, you know? So I feel like it's always different.
Cool. How did you
Um,
when you found out that they were going to pitch a song to radio, was that your idea? Or, I mean, obviously somebody noticed you and said, she's great. We want to do something with her. But tell me about that process for you. Were you like really nervous inside saying, oh my God, this is the real thing? It's really happening. My song's going to be on the radio or could be on a lot of radio stations. How did all that play out for you?
um, it's still crazy to me, and I'm just so grateful that like I have these opportunities. Especially at such a young age. I feel
Mhm.
like a lot of people would like freak out. And they're like, what the heck? Like you're so young. My life looks very different than all of my friends. Um, but you just take it day by day. And like I said, I'm just so grateful for all the opportunities that I've been given and will go through still since I am so young. Um, but yeah, it's just everything's awesome.
I would, anybody that watches this or listens to this, I would highly recommend that you look up Kylie Trout on YouTube. And I would assume you can also go to iTunes and, just about anywhere that you get your music from, you should be able to find your music, correct?
Yeah. Yes, correct.
Yeah, and I would love to have, I want more people to do that because once they hear you, I think it's going to take off. What do your friends think about, you must obviously everybody has friends and what
Yeah.
do they think about you being on the radio, you being Kylie Trout, who's now becoming a household name, um, from, as opposed to before you were just Kylie, maybe, kid next door. Now you're Kylie Trout, the artist that gets played on the radio.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are real, like,
Oops.
Oh, I think she's
and they're
freezing up again.
like that.
There she is.
Oh, am I me?
Kylie. See, this is
Hello.
yep. Kylie's in, I think a lot of it has to do because she is in Southern California and it's quite the distance and a lot of people are on the web at night, but and I
Can you
know
hear me?
oh, we can hear you now. Yes. Yes. Can you hear us? The mouth is
Perfect.
moving.
I can't hear you.
You
It's
can't.
high traffic time in her area. So
That could be a lot
she
of it.
is.
Yes. Yes. And you can hear us now?
Hmm.
Yep.
I'm so sorry, guys. We'll
There we-
figure this out.
Oh, you're fine.
It's all good. We understand. And this is the way we're doing things now, with everything going on. Um, thank God we do have the internet. And Deb, thank God we do have the internet. We can connect with Kylie the way we're talking to Kylie and bringing the artist, of course, to your fans with the Country Music Fan Club and of course with the radio station. So that's kind of cool. And she is back and in and out. There she is again.
I'm so sorry. I apologize.
Nice. No, we got you covered, girl. We're all good.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
think we're getting pretty good at that. You're getting on and off with less than 10 seconds.
I know
Yeah.
that's actually pretty good. That is pretty good. That is pretty good. Have you you've been doing other interviews like this. Are you there? I've got a steady smile and her eyes are closed.
I know.
There she is. She's going in and out, but I'm waiting. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Good.
We'll make it work. We're making it
Okay.
work. But we're
Yeah.
making it work. It is what it is. It's real time. It's real life. And
Right.
we're so happy to have you on with us here tonight. But
Hey,
it's crazy.
the best networks in the world have technical difficulties, so we're right up there with them.
So tell us a little bit more about Kylie Trout. All right. So you took voice lessons at the age of 5. You were really shy. You've got a band. You got a song on the radio.
Are you still in high school?
I am. I'm a junior in high school, finishing up junior year.
So next year you'll be a senior. So you're fortunate that you didn't fall into this category with all of these.
So terrible for the seniors this year.
Do I see a move to Nashville after you graduate by any chance?
I'm hoping. I would love to live out in Nashville. I love California sometimes, kind of ish. But Nashville's the place to be. And I love the people out there. I feel like people are very different out in Nashville than in California.
Oh yeah.
So
no, I was just going to say, it seems to be a different attitude with people, amongst the people, whether you have Nashville, even from where we are in upstate New York to where you are in Southern California. So it's a whole different attitude.
It is, for sure.
Well, at least it's not the New York attitude, the downstate. I'm originally from downstate, so I tease. Sometimes we have attitude.
You're like, I can say that.
And she's got the Long Island accent. So.
Long Island. How was your first? Tell us about your first experience going to Nashville and what you did and how you pitched your music or who you spoke to. How did all that start for you?
So the first time I ever went to I used to be in this like competition every year out in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and we would fly into Nashville and stay there overnight, but we never really like explored Nashville, I guess, and that was for like 2 years. And then the third year, I went to the Grand Ole Opry, and I still remember the first time I went to the Opry. I saw Craig Campbell perform
Oh wow.
Outskirts of Heaven, and I was actually singing that song in the competition I was in, so that was so cool. And then I remember I saw Michael Ray perform there too, and I ran up to the stage and like he touched my hand, and I will never forget that moment. So that was my first time like actually being in Nashville. And then walking up and down Broadway. The first time I saw Broadway, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is insane. And yeah, I met with some people, and it was just a great experience. I love it out there.
So when you say you met with some people, do you reach out to people in the music industry? And in the old days, it was knocking on the doors and trying to get your CD or your songs over to a label. These days we have so much to offer with, internet.
Yeah. Yeah, I've actually done both. So
you did what?
She did both.
Oh, you did both. Good for you.
Yeah.
Very cool.
While you're out there, get the most out of it that you can.
How many times
have?
What's that?
They're great experiences to have behind you.
They are. And everybody is so sweet out there. Everybody is so nice, so welcoming, whether you're at the top or the bottom. So it's a really cool community out there.
Very, very cool. Kylie, you have your own website too. Can you give us the web address? And we'll make sure we post it as well.
Yes, it is www.kylietrout.com.
It's that simple. It's Kylie.
That's simple.
Kylie Trout. Gotta love that. And what do you see happening in your future? What can you see happening?
No, I just want to. My whole goal with music is just to spread a positive message and to help people relate to songs and know that they're not alone. Because that's what drew me to come into music, and especially country, because country music comes from the heart, tells a story. So just to do that and hopefully get signed with a label, and my goal has always been to perform at the Grand Ole Opry. I feel like that's a lot of people's dreams. I'm working towards it.
Were you did you do the lunch experience at the Ryman while you were at CRF?
That was on my birthday, and I got to see Carrie Underwood perform, and she has been my idol since I was little, and it was just the best birthday gift ever, because I had never been to a concert before. Sounds so weird.
Yeah, and that was your very first country radio seminar, correct?
Yes, it was. First time.
It's always an adventure. It's always a lot of fun, and the people and the artists that you see and meet just out of this world. And I've got to say that every single one of them, the nicest people in the world. And being in the Ryman for that lunch that day, and they've been doing that for years. And Deb and I have seen a lot of stars hit that stage. And to see Reba McEntire kind of cap it off at lunch, that was just, to me, you see, I'm a Reba fan as well as a Kylie Trout fan. But, I was like blown away when she walked out. I was like, oh my God. And I've been doing this for how long? So, very cool. Very cool. Can you imagine yourself standing on that stage in that circle?
Right. Man, I imagine that all the time.
You should. And keep reaching for it, because you will be there. You keep doing what you're doing. I think you're going to be there. And we need more artists like you with that type of voice and your dedication and your passion. We just keep going, girl. Just keep pushing forward, you know?
Oh, that means a lot.
What about, so do you have an EP, an album out? What do you have?
I do not currently. I am working towards that, hopefully within the next year. But yeah, I have a few singles out right now. And You and I was the first push to radio. So seeing the journey from just releasing songs that I liked to now, it's just so cool.
What about your dad? Does he come out to the shows? I mean, obviously he had to be in Nashville with you, but does he come out when you're playing out and about?
What was that?
Your dad, does he follow you pretty good? Like, does he come out to the shows and like one of your big supporters?
Oh yeah, my dad is awesome. He's like my dadager. He's my Uber driver. My dad's awesome. I love him. Wouldn't be where I am without him. 100%.
No, exactly. I think
you'll never get your driver's license if you have your dad for your Uber driver.
Well, that's right. When you got dad, you're not gonna, you're not gonna need anything else. And I love, Deb, I love hearing the fact that these artists, when they talk about their parents and how much their parents support what they do, because I don't believe that these artists would be where they are if they did not have the support of their parents, especially somebody like that's in Kylie's shoes. Somebody, you're still in your middle teens. You don't even have your driver's license yet. You're a junior in high school. Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for your parents, Kylie, I mean, really just the support, you got to have that support. And they've got to have a backbone to say whether they like what you're doing, or maybe you come out or you write something and they say, no, you can't do that. I don't want.
My dad has no filter. He will tell me if something's terrible. And like, sometimes I'm like, Dad, like, whoa. But no, I appreciate it.
I think he does that because he loves you, and he does that because he's loving what you're doing, and he wants it to be right. So. Absolutely. Kylie, you're really awesome, girl. And I'm so glad that you took the time to touch base with Deb and I here tonight. And as I mentioned, Deb is president of the Country Music Fan Club, and we do these things together. And her goal is to get artists like you, the new artists, do events, put you in front of fans, listeners, new fans. We always say it's one fan at a time. And she does a great job with that. Deb spends a lot of time in Nashville. She's got a son that lives there, and her business works out of there every once in a while. So, which is very, very cool. Deb, do you have anything else?
Can't wait to have you here in the Northeast.
Yes, I can't wait.
So if you even get remotely close, we'll get you over here.
We'll do what we have to do. And
we'll fill the room.
Yep, exactly. And who knows? The ACMs are in Nashville coming up in September, if I'm not mistaken. And I know they're going to do a couple of different venues. I'm not really sure at this point how all that's going to play out. I mean, the world's a crazy place right now.
It is.
Yep.
Hey, if all goes well, we'll have the ACMs in September, we'll have the CMTs in October, and the CMAs in November. That could be a lot of fun times in Nashville.
Fingers crossed. Fingers
Yes.
crossed. And we,
So.
who knows? You might be able to make one of those as well. So.
Mhm.
All right, we've been chatting with Kylie Trout tonight, and she's a new and upcoming artist, and I highly recommend that you check out her single, You and I, and maybe I'll just pull it up. You don't mind if I play it again, do you?
Yeah, go ahead, do your thing.
I didn't think you'd say no. I did not think you'd say no. Let's see if I can. Let's see what we have here. Oh, we got Drive. Hang on. Well, you got a lot. You've got quite the channel here, girl. Your YouTube channel. Yeah, so make sure if you're listening to this, you go online and you subscribe to her YouTube channel. She's got 18 videos up there, and you want to see this girl in action. Let me see if this will play. If we can. Oh, by the way, who's the guy in the car? That car is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's my good friend Skylar. He was nice enough to play my fake boyfriend and let me use his car.
Wow, tell him I like his car.
I will. I'll let him know.
Wow, it's a Pontiac. Look at that. It's a Firebird.
Yep.
Mhm.
No kidding. And what year is that? Do you know?
I have no clue.
I didn't think so.
It's passed down in their family, I believe.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. And so that's your friend Kyler, and that's cool. And he helped you cut the video. And the video is cut where? Where did you?
In my neighborhood, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Kylie Trout. You can see her on the screen. You can hear the single right now. We'll play this and then we'll say goodbye. Here we go.
Take the next step, don't turn around. Keep on going, don't look back. Only stopping to fill up the gas. And I was thinking maybe you could help me try. Meet me down the street on Friday night. Dip on all my friends, boy, I think it's fine. Spin a million circles in the headlights. And don't tell no one else, it's between you and I. I just wanna stay out all night long. The tailgate down, crickets singing their song, holding each other till the break of dawn. Get off the couch and sleep right now. I was thinking maybe you could help me try. Meet me down the street on Friday night. Dip on all my friends, boy, I think it's fine. Spinning me in circles in the headlights. Don't tell no one else, it's between you and I. Ain't gonna tell a single soul, cruising up and down these gravel roads. You stay safe with me, you know. Don't hold it back, no. Baby, let's just go. Cause I was thinking maybe you could help me try. Meet me down the street on Friday night.
Love it.
Dip on all our friends, boy, I think it's fine. Spinning me in circles in the headlights. Oh, I was thinking maybe you could help me try. Meet me down the street on Friday night. Dip on all my friends, boy, I think it's fine. Spinning me in circles in the headlights. And don't tell no one else, it's between you.
There it is. Single.
Very nice.
And You and I. I'm watching the car.
Yeah.
That Firebird is pretty cool, and he's doing donuts in
You
the
know,
dust
what's
in the
funny?
dirt there, which
The
is pretty
funny
cool.
part-
Whoops, sorry.
The funny part with the video too, because in the chorus it says like spinning me in circles in the headlights, and one of his headlights didn't work, so we had to like make do with that.
Who did the actual shoot?
A good friend of mine, who's a friend of a friend, his name is Steven Campos, and he's amazing. So we have some more projects coming up.
Yeah, that was very good, by the way. Very good. He's very talented, I can tell. So that's cool. He definitely knows what he's doing with the camera. He's got some pretty awesome shots there. Kylie Trout, everybody, and I want you to go online, look her up, and check out her music. You can also hear it here in Syracuse on 92.1 The Wolf, and we're playing the single "You and I," which you just heard. I don't know how it came out over the internet, but that is the single, and it's a great song. Not just saying that, it's a great song. And you know, just being who you are at your age, middle teens, junior in high school, no driver's license.
The next time we talk to you, we expect you to have your license.
Maybe, no promises.
I can. Is it 16 there when you get your permit? Or I know here in New York it's 16.
I think it's either 15 and a half or 16. I don't know.
Well, I couldn't wait for that day. I was just like, all right, the minute I turned of age, I was like at the DMV getting my permit. So,
I got my permit when I was 16.
Yeah.
Like almost 17 though.
And then a couple of months later, I was ready to take my driver's test. I was ready to go. So, but that's the guy in me, I guess.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Kylie Trout, thank you so much. You are in Southern California, and we're like coast to coast here tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. You know, you're a wonderful artist. You've got a lot of great talent, seriously. And I've been doing this a long time. We hear a lot of people. We see a lot of people. Some are, you know, good, and others are great. And I'm going to put you in that great category because you have that voice. I know I sound like I should be on American Idol.
Thank you. Tell them to take me.
No, they should. Have you tried out for anything like that?
I have. I made it to like the last round of like callbacks right before you get on the show. And they're like, yeah, come next year. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. But you know why? Sometimes I think they don't want people that are really good because they want to build somebody. They want to start from scratch. Or like when you see the early episodes of Idol, and it's a lot. I've talked to other people that have been there, and it's like they want people that are kind of different. So even though they don't make it, but they make the show because they're different for whatever reason.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
they have their reasons. So.
They do. And you don't let that get you down, I hope. You know. No.
I'm still here. I'm still kicking.
And you're going to keep going. You're just starting, girl. You're
just starting.
That's right. Well, we hope our paths cross. I hope you make the trip to the Northeast, or we're out in maybe in Nashville, or who knows, we could be in California for something. But we do appreciate you joining Deb and I on Skip Happens in the Country Music Fan Club and getting to know you a little bit. Thank you for doing this. And go online, go to KylieTrout.com, correct? And you can find out everything. You can watch the video. You can read about her. She's got a bio. She's got it all online. Also, her own YouTube channel. She's got 18 videos up there. So check them out. Kylie, you're awesome. All right. Say hi to the fam for us, even though we've never met them. But there you are.
It froze.
All right. We got you now. We got you. All right, Kylie. Yeah, we can hear you. As I shake my head, yes.
Good.
Yeah.
I have to wear a hat.
Thank you for being with us.
I have a mop. Yeah. All right, Kylie, you're the best. Peace to you. Stay safe. We love you. We love your music. Keep it going. And I hope to see you again soon. Okay?
Love you guys.
We love you too. Take care. Peace. Take care. See you.
Bye.